Man City drew Southampton. That's pretty big news. Did you watch that game?
I half watched. It was on when I was in a room, and I kind of was glancing at it every now and then. I could talk about it a bit. I did see Pep's interview after, where he said that was the best performance all season. It's like, no, it's not.
He always does that. He always fucking does that, like in a draw or a loss, because he's like, "Oh, you probably think the game is about winning and scoring goals. Of course you do."
Yeah.
I feel bad for your tiny brain. You can't understand the complexities of football matches. That was actually the best performance we've had. You won't get it. You don't get it. But that was probably the best we've ever played in our entire lives, actually. Probably the most proudest moment of my life was that game, that 1-1 draw against Southampton. He always fucking does that.
It's so annoying.
God, he grinds my fucking gears. Well, there's the intro. Cheers, literally that 30-second beef about fucking Pep, fucking. Oh, Christ.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Yes, sass, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will, international edition. Will in Carlow.
At the highest point.
The highest point in Carlow Town, holding down the offices, and me in undisclosed location in the birthplace of democracy. That's right, Greece. It very fucking wintry over here right now, I have to say. Snowing in most parts, except for here. I mean,
when you went over, you were like, "It's going to be roasting."
Well, I fucking did not. That's the worst thing. If I'd been bragging to everybody, like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be loving it," I wouldn't mind. I was like, "Yeah, it's karma," you know. But I was like, very low key. It's pissing rain here. It's absolutely pissing rain, and I don't have a coat. I didn't bring a coat. The average temperature was meant to be like 15 degrees, and I was like, "Yeah, I can get by." That's basically shorts and t-shirt
summer
weather.
here. Yeah.
I brought a lot of that. I brought a lot of shirts, a lot of shorts, t-shirts. I got no coat at all, and I've got caught in the rain more than once already. So not great. And also, I heard that you just had Freedom Day at home.
Literally
I wasn't here
on 24 hours notice. They said COVID's done. Who cares anymore? And they literally,
I wasn't 24 hours here.
Literally, they took down all, like, all the perspex and all that. That's gone. There's no more. It's gone. There's no social distancing anymore, which is insane. Like, they didn't do it gradually. They literally, in like the span of 6 hours, Micheál Martin did a speech where he was smiling ear to ear, and he said, basically, this is going to be the best spring of my life. He was so excited.
People saying, "Did you hear the news?" And then I was like, "What?" Like, look, I'm not saying this is about me.
Over.
I'm not saying this was, but I'm just saying it's curious timing. That as soon as I leave the country for the first time in years, in like long before COVID, in years, it seems that everything goes back to normal and everyone's out enjoying themselves in the pubs. We're still at 6 at the table here. It's just like you're, the United States after World War II, and I'm Greece. I am actually Greece. We're like, they got kind of fucked. Not as bad as other places, but like it's still here. We still have to recover. And you're just like partying on the streets, kissing nurses and stuff.
We did it. We conquered it. Yeah.
Yeah. So good to see everybody having a good time. Did you go out, make a show of yourself, get kicked out of places that haven't opened in years, or as per usual, did you let slide down?
I didn't go on Saturday. I did go on Sunday, and I had a feed of pints of Guinness. And as well, there were 6 of us on a table of 8. They were like, "Hey, if more people want to come, they can." Basically, there's no rules. It doesn't matter anymore. You do what you want. It was the day, throughout, especially at the start of COVID, where when people we didn't really know how it worked. Everyone was like, "Oh, the day this is over is going to be amazing."
You have to just drink for the both of us. We'll have to party even harder.
No problem.
But look, onto the why the people really here, because they're not here for us. Yeah. They're here for the football. Never stops, never sleeps.
No one Googles Will and Cathal podcast. That's never happened. But we do have proof that people have on occasion Googled Irish soccer podcast funny.
Yeah, and that's where we thrive. That's where we show up. Yeah, and as per usual, as soon as we step away from the mic, that's when stuff gets really exciting,
That's when it kicks off.
We didn't do a second episode this week because I was, kind of away from the desk, I suppose, and we had some exhilarating games midweek. Brentford and Man United first game, and we were saying that Spurs, Arsenal, classic bottlers. Brentford, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how this got all those points at the start of the season, because it's just they couldn't finish the dinner, could they?
No, like they had so many chances, and like I thought United even played well, but just Brentford, they got so many shots on target straight at De Gea. This wasn't one of his super performances. They just kicked him straight at his legs, which he's very good at saving.
Yeah, Brentford were helping David De Gea's stat pad for that Golden Glove for sure. That game when we went to this year, like that was the game that turned it for him. Mendy away after combinations, and he got the ball kicked at him 100 times against Brentford. Yeah, I mean it's been a weird. When you think of this time last year, when they had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and it was all looking up, going the right direction.
Yeah.
And then obviously it went not great, and then it got worse, and you had the loss to Watford, and it was like time for a change. And just been no manager bounce. It's like the car is just coasting towards the cliff here. Like it's just like Rashford with the goal. Did he come on?
He did come on. He came on the last 15 minutes. He has now, I think the commentator said he's like a goal or two away from matching Solskjaer's record of scoring off the bench for United, which seems mental. That was Solskjaer's whole thing.
Yeah, but what about his body language, Will?
He looked like he was buzzing.
The vibes are off. No, man, the Rashford's vibes are off. You can tell. There's been so much talk. Not that it's, but there is obviously body language, and you can read it, and there's been often very famous press conferences over the years where people have been found to be lying over the years later. I'm not saying it's bullshit, but there is a lot of amateur body language experts who just have confirmation bias. We're like, look, Rashford's head's down, he's not working, And look, maybe that was the case in that game, but I don't think there's any doubt in terms of him not playing for the manager, because I don't think he plays for any manager. I think he plays for himself, and he plays for, in terms of professional pride, and then also plays for Man United. I just saw him come on and score. It's of course he did. He just was having, some of it can be as simple as he was having some bad games. It happens to literally everybody. So, funny seeing him go on and score.
I think with any other manager, you could be like, maybe, but if there was any problems between him and the manager, we would know. Ralf Ragnick would very calmly say that in the press conference. He's like, he doesn't like
Tell
me.
us.
He's really sad right now.
Exactly what happened. Word for word. If it was a personal issue, we'd know it was that too.
Yeah. He's really sad lately. His girlfriend dumped him.
Because obviously the main talking points, it wasn't a great game, really. But the main talking point was Ronaldo getting subbed off. And look, he's done this for years. He's famously not celebrated or been angry when a teammate didn't pass him and score themselves. Yeah, you know what Ronaldo's like, but it's always kind of, Jesus, I can't believe he's actually doing this.
Really going for it too.
Yeah, I mean, he threw his strop coming off the pitch. He's meant to be the kind of the older head, he's seen it all in this game. He's seen losses, he's seen wins, he's been taken off, he's been put on. But he was just no, this is bollocks. This is absolutely a disgrace that I'm getting taken off here. And it was it seemed performative, but you can't deny that he knows the camera's on him at all times. If he's doing that, he's not I just was in the heat of the moment, I forgot the camera's on me. He's never forgotten the camera's on him, So it did seem kind of oh, Jesus, he wants people to know that he doesn't agree with this decision. The weird thing was then, Ragnick, give him the time of day then. When the player goes off, he's kicking the water bottle, and the manager's staring out into space, do not look over at him. Do not look over at him. Don't give him the satisfaction of letting him know he's got to be. But Ragnick was over to him, explaining to him.
Into his ear. Again, the way he does press conferences, probably I took you off because you're 36. Rashford's come on. He's quite young and fast. He might score. Yeah, and
it's just Ronaldo. We were saying this before. Ronaldo isn't even mad at the decision being taken off. Yeah. like he knows he hasn't played well, or he hasn't scored, he hasn't dominated the game like he would have in the past, and that's what he's really angry at.
Yeah.
I mean, he might direct the manager, and like he knows that if I, make a scene here, it's probably not going to look good for the manager. I'm not saying he's like totally blameless in it, but that's what he's really mad at. You don't actually want somebody to explain to him why. Well, I can actually, show you why you're not doing well in the last 5 minutes. So he was like a bold child, like looking away, like, oh, don't care, go away.
It was funny because Ragnick was literally, I've never even seen a manager go back to the dugout like that and sit beside him, ignoring the game and just like into his...
the game was there to be won still.
He was looking at Ronaldo and talking into his ear and like gesturing like, you're old and things happen.
Yeah, it happens to us all. I was young once and look at me now. I don't blame him for that, but obviously any manager would wish he shouldn't be too emotional, and also in front of the TV cameras. I don't think this will be for the benefit of anyone, not the benefit of his teammates. The manager said, it's an emotional game and players are emotional, and I didn't take it personally at all. See or interpret that it was challenging me. This was not the first time. If you have a look at the moment when Sir Alex Ferguson replaced him and other coaches, his reaction was pretty similar, which shows in the end he's got nothing to do with manager. It's about his own ambition and desire to stay on the pitch. Exactly what I said, Ralph.
Confirmed.
So like that's the thing. It's he's very, again, matter of fact. It's like, listen, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but that's exactly what I wanted to happen, and it did happen. So I think I'm right. So
I love the idea of him watching tape of Ronaldo being subbed off to see how he reacts when like Fergie game.
Yeah, let me just see if this is directed at me. No, the evidence would suggest not. Seems like it's a personal thing with Ronaldo. Always been the way. I knew it.
Confirmed again.
Yeah, Ralf Ragnick destroys Ronaldo with facts and logic. But yeah, they got the win. I mean, they're fourth now? Whereabouts are you in the
They're
league?
fourth now. The top four is Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, as always. No matter what's going on in the league, that's how it ends up eventually.
Yeah, I do remember the start of the season when you said United would get fourth, and when I said United got fourth, and you were shocked. I think I said this exact lineup. I think I said Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. United. Like, you think United get fourth? Now
it just was impossible. They fixed all the problems and got Ronaldo. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. I mean, I think we were at the time saying it's weird at the time Ronaldo, but I don't think any of us probably would have thought that it would have this kind of effect, that like you wouldn't see Cavani again. Rashford would not be. Well, we knew Rashford was injured at the time, but you kind of always felt that he'd come back and be the same as he was. Greenwood hasn't kicked on at all, and then everyone's saying no, Greenwood's going to be like his apprentice. He's going to be the next Ronaldo, which I always kind of question. I think we did have a bit on that just Greenwood with his like notebook taking notes on how Ronaldo showers and stuff, like like what's he actually going to learn if he doesn't play? But to be fair, I didn't think that United would go on and challenge anything, but I didn't think it would go like this.
Yeah. Scrapping for fourth again, like.
Yeah, and West Ham are still hanging around. I suppose due to the fact that Arsenal and Tottenham are kind of, well, look, it's easy to say that they're wishy-washy, but I think that is just if you're the seventh and sixth best team in the league, you will beat most teams, but there'll be also teams that you won't beat as well. So it's not that like you should be winning every game. Oh, they're so wishy-washy. Like, I think that team was probably just better than them.
Yeah.
So I mean, Tottenham played the other game in midweek, and an unbelievable game. Like, in comparison with how the United game was, this was an unbelievable game. The latest two goal scored in the game since. Can you guess, Will?
2 goals scored. Is it the Champions League, the United Champions League final? Surely.
No, Premier League. Like say the latest time 2 goals were scored in the Premier League. Do you remember the last time 2 late goals scored in the Premier League?
I have no idea.
You'll kick yourself, Will.
Oh no! What is it?
Maybe I'll give you a hint.
Aguero!
Of course.
I swear you'll never do anything like this ever again until
We did.
Tottenham play Leicester in the Premier League in a midweek game. That means absolutely nothing because Tottenham are going to lose to Chelsea in a few days. I mean it's that was the latest one since the Aguero record breaking. I think it was Dzeko scored the first one or the second goal, and then Aguero scored the last one. But that was like 90 plus 2 or 3, and this was like 90 plus 5 or 6. I'm not entirely sure. But broke that record. Insane, really.
How, because like they gave the ball away at tip pretty much when they were going up, and like surely just kick it back to your keeper and wait for the whistle. Why are you trying anything? It's we've talked about Leicester before. The last 2 seasons definitely damaged them because it's like they're always just so prone to, oh fuck, here we go again. It's happening. Yeah. And we joke like, no, it doesn't really, that's not how it works. Like it's just a coincidence or whatever. But no, it's definitely Leicester.
Yeah, well, I was like, after one season, like it's not the end of the world. They're professionals, and there's they got other things going on in their lives. But like after a certain point, it does kind of become a thing of like, I mean, that's what the United for years scoring 8 goals, because you can draw on like other times like, we're not out till we're out kind of thing, and like magically they get a goal, but it's not magically. It's based on like just you're not giving up. Like there's no part of your mind going, well, we're not going to score now. Like the one like say the Man City when they beat QPR in 2012 to win the Premier League, got the late 2 goals. I thought that will never, like that was the commentary. You'll never see anything like this ever again, because it was last day of the season. This was City's, project. This was the time where they had like been reeled in from like 10 points. Yeah, there's this crazy emotion, and then QPR equally were like battling relegation at the time, and they needed another team to lose. So their mind's kind of somewhere else as well. So that's how you can see how they could fuck up so royally at the last couple of minutes, because they're thinking, wait, has Bolton won? Have they not won? Yeah, last day of the season, like I say, you'll never see those like parameters again. This one though, this is just Leicester, like I say, in the middle of the week, playing Spurs, who are nowhere near the title. Just like, how did they where were their minds? What were they thinking about? That they could fuck this up so much. And I have to say, like, that must be it. Like, oh no, like we do this sometimes. Sometimes
we throw it away.
We throw it away. It has to be something like, if not now, if maybe not before, but now surely it's like, okay.
Oh yeah. Anytime they go ahead now, even from kickoff, they have to be like, oh fuck, careful everyone. Everyone calm down.
So where's that put Leicester on the table then? I mean, I know Spurs, they're like I say, they're 7th. Leicester are 10th.
10th, yeah. Which, I mean, remember they won the FA Cup last year?
Yeah. Although I think we did say that as well at the start of the season, that like there's going to be lots of teams sacking their managers at the end of the season, because like, how do we finish there? Because like there is a lot of teams who are just better than them. Like Wolves are in 8th. I didn't see Wolves being this good after last season. Yeah. Brighton too are sticking around there in 9th, top half the table, and then Leicester. But like Villa, Palace, Leeds, Everton, they've all had not great seasons. In their own minds, I'm sure that like they would have wanted to do better, especially say Villa with the investment they put in. Yeah. Leicester as well. They've had a lot of injuries, but it's almost feeling for Leicester that like, oh, maybe Brendan Rodgers has brought this team as far as he can. Yeah. Kind of like at Liverpool, honestly.
Yeah, that's what happened at Liverpool. It's just nothing went wrong. It's just after a while they're like, okay, we've hit a wall here. Like a few kind of collapses, and it's tough to get back after that. Like,
what's tough for Leicester, I think, not for Leicester, for Brendan Rodgers, is that like, say at Liverpool, it was like, well, they lost Luis Suarez. Who could replace him? And then they kind of lost Sturridge. He had injuries, and it was like, well, maybe bringing in Balotelli wasn't the best move. But there's always the kind of argument of like, look, what's he meant to do? Barcelona come take your player. It's happened to Arsenal. It's happened to many teams over the years. But Leicester, they haven't lost anybody.
Yeah, just a few injuries, like.
Yeah, they have had injuries, which is fair enough. But like, say this summer now, if they were to lose Tielemans on the cheap or something like that, would just be an absolute sucker punch for them, because then you come back next season, oh, everyone's fit, we'll go at it again. Oh, Tielemans is gone. Oh, Maddison is gone now as well. Some of that.
Vardy's a year older.
Yeah. Although Dak has been pretty good. I think he could be a pretty good replacement. He's been very well. He played very well this season for Leicester. Ian Atchers kind of fell off the cliff a bit as well.
He has comes and goes. I think he has a few weeks where he'll be flying it, and then you won't hear from him for a while. Yeah,
so it's hard to get if you have 3 strikers at the club. Any club really, it's hard to have them all going well and playing and scoring. But yeah, you'd wonder where Leicester City go. There's not been much talk about Brendan Rodgers going, but I don't know. I could see him leaving, and I could see Frank Lampard coming in.
No, I think they're smarter than that. I don't think they're one of the clubs that do that.
Every team, you know what I could see Frank Lampard going in. That's all my talking points are slowly getting to the point where I think they might sack the manager. I think, if I was to guess, blinded by my absolute tough break for Leicester. Don't think they're going to achieve their goals this year. But yeah, Tottenham, like we're saying, great win against Leicester. You know, and that you might have said if you're a Tottenham fan, turning point. This is it. This is where we push on now. You know,
let's go.
That's the kind of steel you need to fucking climb the table. After they kind of ran into Chelsea a little bit, didn't they? Chelsea are very good. Like, this is the thing. Like, I think Chelsea are better than Tottenham. You know, I don't think there's any kind of other way to put it. It was a bit feisty. I mean, I'd say every time that Spurs team goes back to Chelsea, they can't but help but be reminded of the Battle of the Bridge.
Yeah, the Vietnam flashbacks kick in.
There was a bit of needle to it. Now, listen, I did the Lionel Hutz on this one. I watched it in a bar with the sound off, but I think I got the gist of it. I was watching Mount, I think, put Tanganga over the line, and it got kind of feisty and you know, pushing and shoving. And all day Mount was having a bit of a kind of a go at the linesman, I go at the referee. Every time he gave away a blatant foul, like, oh, what is that for? You know, when you pushed him over there, it's like, oh, I pushed him over. So I know he was a bit like that. Not that he was anywhere near the Battle of the Bridge. Maybe as a ball boy. I think there's been pictures of him as ball boys in the past. But, like, you know,
he probably was. Yeah,
one of those things. Like, it kind of carries over every time we see them play. Again, one of the talking points was probably the Kane disallowed goal.
Yeah, I mean, one of the softest disallowed goals, even of today's standards in the last few seasons. It was ridiculous.
Or should we say, even of this week's standards, not last week's standards, it wouldn't be given, but this week's standards was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, he lifted his hand and brushed off a man's jersey.
Now, I know I'm going to jinx this now, and the next few games are going to be like rife with controversy, but has it kind of plateaued a bit, the V.A.R. calls and that, up until that point?
Yeah, it seeed like there wasn't too. Although I know in the United game, when they scored the last minute winner against West Ham, people were calling for V.A.R. and offsides and stuff. So
the offside, yeah. I mean, I think the offside will never go away. That's just like part of the kind of the fun of the game, just complaining about offsides. But like the kind of fouls and like the soft touch versus the, like, say, Harvey Elliott versus that, you know. I know there's always been different rules in the box and stuff, unwritten rules anyways, but that just seemed very, very soft in comparison with the other games this week.
The one in the Liverpool Palace game where the keeper went down was very soft as well, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, we've come back to soft this week. It's hard to know. I guess it was a soft week, folks. You know,
next week hard. That's how it goes.
Oh fuck! Who are Arsenal playing next week? They're going to get battered by somebody.
Well, they were playing Burnley this week, so they got lucky.
Yeah. Oh, they're playing Wolves. The Wolves are going well. I don't know. That doesn't look like a good matchup. It's going to be a tough week next week. It's going to be a hard week next week. I don't think I fancy Arsenal for that one. But yeah, Harry Kane missed that one. Well, he scored, but you know, only for the theatrics, I suppose, of Thiago Silva.
Actually, speaking of Harry Kane, I saw the podcast leaking into real life a bit during the week. I've mentioned before on the pod, I watch wrestling sometimes. I was watching AEW. There was a sign in the front row, and this is like on in, I don't know, somewhere in America, wherever it was, but there was a sign for the whole 2 hours of the show, live television, and it just said, Harry Kane is a cheat.
Harry Kane's a cheat.
Who was that guy? Was that you? Was that where you are?
No, I swear it wasn't me. Mine would have said no respect, no honour. We all know that.
Yeah. It would have been more subtle,
But
I do like the idea of Harry Kane like flicking through channels late at night, just happens to stumble. Because I mean, he's going to be watching sports channels, and he's just like, "What the fuck?"
Like, I don't want to watch more football. My brain's fried. I want to escape this this sport of abuse. I see they upgraded Rent Boy to like a slur because of all the Chelsea, all people chant at Chelsea fans. I mean, we're getting into some dicey territory here. I mean, you know, you take the abuse out of football. I mean, it's a 90-minute match. There mightn't be any goals. So what are they meant to do?
Yeah.
Like I saw
you take away the Rent Boy chant. No one's going to those games.
So Chelsea are in town. And what am I meant to shout?
I don't sing the Chelsea song. I sing the Chelsea Rent Boy song.
Yeah, cause even saw there was a clip there of Gerard when he was back at Old Trafford, and they were singing the he slips from 40 yards, he give Demba Ba, whatever. Yeah. That's way more traumatizing than shouting Rent Boy at Chelsea loanees, who aren't gay, by the way. You know, so it's not even.
Yeah, and also they're also like Brazilian and Italian, and like they're not fucking from there. It doesn't affect them at all.
So I mean,
but like actively bringing up the worst moment of a man's life because he's there.
Like, that's the thing, is like, I'm not, again, just to clarify, I don't think we should keep the Rent Boy chant. I'm not in favour of it. I'm not going to miss it if it goes away. I'm just saying is that, like, it's an abusive sport. Like, half the phone or the crack or whatever you call it is abusing people. And again, Gerard, who doesn't play anymore, just a manager, you know, when they see him, bring up the worst moment of his life in chant form. And like, if you're going to get rid of one, you can't ignore that. That's really mean.
Like, have you ever seen the clip of him talking about that? Where he, it's not like we're just like putting words in his mouth. He's actively like, that was the worst moment of my life. Like, it kept me awake for weeks.
The slip happened at a bad time. It was cruel for me personally, and you know, there's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't think about what if that didn't happen. Would things have been different? Would it have turned out different? Maybe it might have. I don't know. It kills me, don't get me wrong, inside it kills me, and it will do for a long time. I think to myself, if I'd have got that league, it'd have been the icing on the cake. I've got memories, good memories that'll live with me forever, but that is one moment that will always hurt me till the day I go.
Like, that really affected him personally. So, and then like, it's not going to stop at Old Trafford. Everywhere he goes, he's going to get hit with that. Yeah.
Oh, of course. Especially if he wants to seem to play like Stoke. I mean, expect more of that.
And when you're bringing in all the Liverpool boys, like if you're bringing in Suarez, and like you're bringing in that team, you're reminding everyone.
Yeah, I saw the Suarez link. Like, he's just rebuilding the team. Who next? Glenn Johnson, John Flanagan, the Red Cafu on his way. Amazing stuff there. But I did think that as well. I thought, like, you know, but that is what Gerard is like. I mean, I remember he was saying before, when he got linked to Chelsea, and he was asked and he turned it down. But like, people just saw the headlines in the papers and were like, "Oh, Gerard going to Chelsea? What a fucking, you know, scumbag! This club made you," and like sent him death threats. And I saw him talk about that, and he was like, "Yeah, I wanted to kill myself back then. That was probably the worst time of my life at the time." Mm-hmm. You know, so like, he does take things like to heart. You know, it's the kind of personality he is. So, listen, all I'm saying is, you're getting to the point, if you're going to ban things on that kind of criteria of it's kind of a horrible thing to say, that's up there. That's kind of up there. So, yeah,
dicey.
Dicey.
What's going to get dicey, Boa?
But yeah, what else do we have then? That was the what were we talking about?
That was the Chelsea Spurs game.
Chelsea Spurs, yeah. But then we got talking about Gerard's, moving. I guess, Gerard moved to Chelsea. Nice little segue back in. Yeah. Another player who's recently moved to Chelsea and probably wants to kill himself is Romelu Lukaku.
Do we have to
Not my words, the words of Angel Di Maria. I mean, he's I don't know. I mean, probably one of the worst timed and interviews ever for Lukaku, and the repercussions have been so immediate and so swift. You know, he can't score after going on like a mini hot streak of scoring 2 in a row. Just can't score. Is missing sitters again. Yeah. After, like, from watching the the goals and skills and tricks videos of him in Inter Milan, all he used to score was sitters, and now he can't get them.
Yeah.
And of course, Tuchel at every opportunity puts the knife in,
poking him just a bit.
Just like comes out like, yeah, it's a pretty weird situation when you have a striker who can't score. Seems weird to me. Does it seem weird to you guys? Seems weird to me. That's all I'm saying.
It's not that weird for you. You had fucking Werner last year as well.
Yeah. See if I find the Tuchel good. Tuchel Lukaku.
Said the secret to coaxing more from Lukaku is not a one-step solution.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. Yeah.
I don't know if I can explain it, said Tuchel. He's not only short on goals, but low on involvement.
Oh.
It's very rare in football you have a problem it's a one-thing solution. It's a mix of influences. He was already more involved. At the moment there's struggles. There are reasons for it. We've discussed them. That's the way it is. He's not the only one we rely on to win games. It's nothing special.
Oh. He gave the old, it is what it is, you know?
Welcome to reality. That's it, said Tuchel.
Oh my God. Like, you can't have that. You can't be having that. Like, you know, not only does he not score goals, he's not bottoming his fucking hole either. It is what it is. It's Romelu, ladies and gentlemen, Romelu Lukaku, professional footballer.
Ticking time bomb.
A ticking time bomb, as Jamie Carragher said. I mean, look, this is the thing now, Will. I mean, is he going to respond on the pitch or off it? I would say off it.
Off it.
Yeah.
Well, he might score a goal, but he also might, I don't know, post the sprint sessions for the Chelsea team on his Twitter.
Yeah, it could be that either. It could be something like that. I'm feeling off the pitch.
Yeah.
Something inappropriate. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Go train with Anderlecht, wearing the Anderlecht kit or something like that. Something, you know, he has experience doing.
I don't know. I was very confident last week. I was like, Lampard's coming in, Lukaku's going to score, and then that's how quick football can switch. Lukaku, I could see him not scoring. I could see him not playing.
3 more. He's got 3 to get, and it's going to be tight.
And Lukaku also, not Lukaku, sorry, Frank Lampard also, you know, that Everton link has cooled big time in the media, in the press. Who are they getting in? Victor Pereira. That's the new sign they're coming in. So yeah, it's not looking good for my absolutes. It looks like I'm going to be minus some points at the end of this. We should come up with the pointer prizes. What the prize is at the end of the season, I don't know, but I'm worried I won't win it.
Well, speaking of our absolutes.
Yeah.
One of my absolutes of Newcastle not getting relegated. Looking good. They got another win against Leeds.
Yeah, their first win in 5. So good for them, I suppose. You know, they're in the 3rd place relegation, 1 point behind Norwich. Who are also
which
on
is
a
crazy
hot streak, to be honest. Norwich are we wrote them off months ago. That just relegate them now. They're cut adrift. They're done. They're finished.
They couldn't possibly get 9 points.
But here we are, Edamania. It's gripping. It's just as one pandemic ends, Edamania takes hold of the nation. It's going to spread across Europe.
I sent you that screenshot from Twitter of someone had photoshopped his face onto the R9 with like a triangle haircut, and like, surely that's an Irish person. There's no way anyone else is doing that. Like a Norwich fan. Definitely. It could be one of the boys from Premier Sports.
It could be. Could be Damien Delaney, you know, in between ad breaks. I don't know. A goal and assist for Edamania. For the Edamaniac himself. As many involvements as Cavani this season. That was the stat you sent me. Start of the week, I suppose. Edamania on Ida's. I keep calling Edamania. That's his actual name. Adam Ida. He's on a tear. And Norwich on a tear. Josh Sargent got 2 goals in that game, and we should definitely play the clip of him talking to Carragher after the game, shouldn't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Easily the best moment of the week.
After the first one, I didn't celebrate for my newborn baby, so I knew the wife would kind of
be on your case. They always are
about it. So I was like, okay, now I definitely have to do it.
They're always at it. They're always annoying you.
I mean, there's anything that Carragher loves. It's a your wife joke or my wife joke. He loves that shit. He loves seeing someone have a go at their wife, doesn't he? Fucking hell. Wasn't that funny, man?
He was so excited. They're always that.
The laugh is demonic. Just
like stomping his feet as well.
You know what? Fuck it. Play it again. Just play the laugh.
About it, so I was like, okay, now I definitely have to do it.
Oh God! Beautiful
Actually,
stuff.
there was another great Carragher moment during the week. I don't know if you saw it. He was talking about they were talking about Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
They were saying like he's not happy with you. I will play the clip.
He's not happy with you, Messi, is he?
No, he's not happy with me at all.
Why?
I had a little pop at Ronaldo early in the season. Didn't think it was a great sign for United. And then I said the example of Messi. I didn't think Messi's a great sign for PSG. And I've always really,
It was on Monday Night Football, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on Monday Night Football. And I got a private message on Instagram.
From the man himself?
From the man himself. I will not be showing private messages, but he basically called me a donkey.
About it, so I was like, okay, now I definitely have to do it.
The idea of Messi fucking first of all watching Monday Night Football and then going on Instagram calling him a donkey.
Well, I'm sure like most people, Messi got sent to him on WhatsApp or something. I was like, that motherfucker. Exactly like Harry Kane watching the rest of it. If he could have, messaged that fan in the wrestling and called him a fucking twat, he would have. He definitely would have.
Yeah, for sure.
And Messi doesn't fear anybody. He just cares. Like, yeah, I don't give a fuck who you are. Yeah, leak it. Tell it on your little show. Get some clicks for that. See if I care. You are a donkey.
I like the idea of Carragher as well because, like, I don't know if Messi speaks English, but so I like the idea of him like Google translating the message from Messi. It's just like donkey.
Like when all those Uruguayan fans were sending death threats to Ryan Taylor after he injured Suarez on the last day of the season before the World Cup using Google Translate.
No way.
Do you remember that? Oh, that was amazing. Yeah. That was the year that they nearly won the league. And I think, maybe it wasn't actually. I don't know. I think Newcastle were trying to get fourth spot that year as well. So like, it was a really hot contested game between two of them. And Ryan Taylor did Suarez in, like absolutely nailed him. And then all these Uruguayans were in his DMs telling him his mother's a whore. Those kind of insults at this end. What other relegation games? Everton, like we said, too good to go down. 3 in a row now. 4 of the last 5 are losses. They are plummeting. They're dropping like a rock through the table. I don't know. It's not looking good. I'm glad I didn't make that my absolute because I'm not sure if they're going to stay up. Norwich are going up. Newcastle are on the way up, and Everton are in the wrong direction. They're going down.
Yeah.
They got to stop the rot soon. Who do they play next?
Yeah, they got to get a grip of that thing.
They play Brentford next, and then Newcastle, and then Leeds.
Whoa.
So look, they're all winnable games, but they have to fucking win them.
This has to be the best relegation scrap in years.
There's so many teams involved. I think from Brentford down, from 14th to 20th, they could all get out of it.
It's starting to feel now like Leeds are always losing as well.
Yeah, they're like, that's the thing. It's they played 21 games. There's enough games left for them to go down. That's the thing. It's just it's very, very tight at the bottom there. I think that someone's going to go down and you go, wow, I did not see that going. I did not see them going down like by Christmas. But and there's even like, say, Burnley are at the bottom right now, but they're not cut adrift and they have the games in hand, those famous games in hand.
Crazy games in hand. And like, that was the thing. It's like, well, they're not going to win all the games in hand, but they got a fucking 0-0 against Arsenal. That's a good start to the games in hand.
Yeah, because that's the one you say, well, they'll lose that one, But to get a point from there, it'll be crucial for them, I think, because, like I said, Norwich are the ones who were quite adrift. They were the ones who were, they're gone, and then maybe two or four others. But Norwich are out, or as we speak right now, Norwich are out of the relegation, which is amazing.
I mean, what about Atromitos becoming a cult hero at Norwich for saving them from relegation? That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. That would, and then getting bought in Newcastle.
Yeah, and then sitting on the bench.
Him and Aubameyang up front. Yeah, no, I mean it's I don't know, very tight at the bottom. It's hard to know which one's going to go down. I think I guaranteed Newcastle going down. Oh, no, you said Newcastle would stay up.
I said they wouldn't. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard to call it now, honestly. But that's how fast things can change in this crazy game we call associated football.
Well, speaking of something that does not change, Man City finally dropped some points. They drew with Southampton, but I think they're still like 12 points at the top of the table or something. So it's going to take a lot of Southampton's results to get them out of that top spot. But it was the usual City game. They fucking were going for it. Southampton got an early goal and it felt like, well, there's no chance of them holding on to this result. There's zero chance. Then as time went on, City were getting chances. It's like, yeah, it's coming. City finally scored. And then that was it. It looked like, well, it's inevitable now. City will get the last minute goal that they've been doing. But nope. Southampton pulled it out. A good draw.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It doesn't really give hope because I was like, oh, maybe if we'll just check the table there after Liverpool won, it's like, whoa, well, they're 48 and they're 57. So even if they won the next game, they're still like, 2 more losses away. For like, say you have to lose 2 more games at least, and then to make it even, like, put pressure on them really. So,
and I mean, we were annoyed about Pep saying that was their best game of the season, but like they didn't look bad. Like they were unlucky not to win. So I don't think that's going to amount to much.
Was there anything else then we wanted to touch on quickly, or that was pretty much it now?
Pretty much it. The United West Ham game, I suppose.
Yeah, like I say, another cracks being papered over, I suppose what we call that. Another 1-0 win. Rashford with the goal. 90 plus 3 minutes, just like I would have wanted to.
Yeah. It was like a flashback seeing that. It was just how things were back in the day. I thought United were good in that game, though. They're probably the best defensively they've been all season. Yeah. West Ham did also just look a bit shit, so it's hard to tell.
But that's the thing as well. West Ham are a decent side as well. It's not even that. And like obviously they're going to be trying not keep the score down, but like it was might not maybe slightly better, but like West Ham aren't kind of a Burnley or a Norwich at the bottom table being like they're just trying to hold out for the whole game. Like they are decent to have players who are playing well, who are a threat. So I think it probably was a good performance by United. I don't know. I said Arsenal get 4th spot. It's not looking great right now, but I don't know. It's definitely between those 4 teams. So it was a huge game between Man United and West Ham. I think United are now a point ahead, which like I said,
it seemed insane to see them actually in 4th again after all that time.
Yeah,
it's like, how have they managed that? It seemed like they were non-stop losing and drawing. I don't know how, and everyone else was like Arsenal were unbeatable for ages there. Yeah, so I don't know how they've managed it. I suppose there's games in hand though. United haven't missed much games. I think they've only missed 1.
Yeah. Well, I suppose with that we should probably get on to the whole reason I'm here, Will. The sporting director of football for Atromitos. Now look, first thing I did, because I've seen this kind of done before. You get out in the streets, you talk to people. What is how are Atromitos, viewed by the Greek people? Where do we stand in the game? And not good, Will. I have to say that. not good. I would say, I kind of an Atromitos supporter, and they'd say, how do you know who they are? This is a conversation I had with one person that said, how do you know who they are? And I said, well, I don't want to say I'm just the football director of Atromitos and I'm here on the streets trying to get a sense of who we are. That would be insane. So I said, I do a podcast and we spin a wheel. They'd walked away at this point, but the point being that they were not impressed by it wasn't even that like, they're like, oh God, those guys suck. Like you might say if someone said,
they were like, who?
I'm an Arsenal supporter. They're like, how do you know about them? We know who they are, but how do you know about them? That was the reaction. So I mean, it's the brand needs some work, Will. That's that's one of my first tasks here. Brand awareness.
Chris Coleman, big name manager, big in Europe.
Yeah.
He's international manager. He'll get the clicks. I think that'll get some more. Where it's a slow process. Once we win the loser playoffs too, I mean, it's all up from there.
Yeah. No, I mean that's what we're aiming at. So even though we lost to AEK Athens again 2-0, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't even matter we got someone sent off and that we played terribly. Well, actually, no. The last bit does matter because we're trying to play well. Centre back that we just signed was benched by Chris after the last game, which I understand. I mean, I personally, I would say not good for his confidence. But look, maybe he was like,
you really talked him up though last time on the last episode.
I thought he was good. That's why I signed him. Chris gave him one game, one chance, and that was it. That's how Chris rolls. I can appreciate that. So maybe it was a good move. So listen, we're going to lose to AEK Athens anyways because they're fourth and we're second bottom. Take him out and say, listen, that wasn't your fault, pal. You didn't lose 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But it's I'm learning a few words. I'm trying to get the lingo as well. Yesas, Will. That's how we say hello over here.
Hello, yesas. Very nice.
Afaristo. That's thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm learning a bit of language over here. I don't know how to say so sorry for my failure, but I think I might have to learn that.
Yeah, I think that'll come in time. Yeah, you're gonna have to learn what some of the slurs being shouted at you are as well. Probably once they see where you are in the director's box.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I'm keeping low profile. I'm not actually anywhere near the team or the players right now. Just trying to observe. See what the word in the street is. I mean, the last couple of episodes we'll not planned. We've ended on music for some reason.
Yeah, the beds have because they're easy to do, and it's
yeah.
It's a nice little bit of extra effort to show we actually do make some effort on the pod. I think.
Yeah, I mean the whole episode might be like terrible. It might be like garbage fire. A total dumpster fire episode. But we do try. That's the maybe that's not good to say. Maybe we should pretend we don't try. That's even worse if we do try and Spurs.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares about the pod?
But anyways, this is the one we made. But the West Ham song, you've heard that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about KDB. It's not that time. Best midfielder playing in the Prem. That's Declan Rice. Top captain, we're massive. That's the word on the roads, but we need that strength in depth. Lingard got to come back home. Flying high in the table, Mark Noble putting in work. We've been in Europe flexing, guess what? Can't see Spurs. Antonio, real top striker, celebrations flowing. Europa League on the way, we're on fire like Boeing. Got the speed from Fredericks, Lanzini goes majestic. Ben Johnson can't test him, Pablo might teach you a lesson. Galore and Ben Rama, they got the skills and the sauce, cuz beat City in a cup on pens. Game was a corker, and they couldn't stop us. Not even a real car walker. The Czech boy's been putting in 100%, don't need no water. King Arthur, back with a step over to make a man look smaller. Angelo, Big Zoo, Fab Dawson, and Diop, they stand up taller.
About it, so I was like, okay, now I definitely have to do it.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? What are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?